guys see the game okay?
Yeah.
Sure is the game. Yep.
Mark, oh, there we go. I was about to say Mark is avoiding.
I was multitasking.
Gotcha.
Just gonna bid for this player and then I'll close out Football Manager.
Hello,
Hello.
Yoshi. Alright, this is like the smallest group that we've had for a case in a hot minute.
Yeah.
Usually it's like 1,200 of us.
Not enough people for me to jump around the list.
Yeah, you can't get away from it this time, dude.
It feels quiet. It's so much less chaotic than it
It's-
normally is.
No, yeah,
It's cozy.
it's agreed. Like, I feel like usually we're like, I have to, like, I can't get a word in edgewise to be like, alright, let's start. And now it's just like, oh, okay, we're here. It's good to see you too, Yoshi. Hope you slept well. And that you're not...
Yeah, it's been forever, Yoshi. Glad to see you.
Yep. Hello, oh shit.
Okay, well, since that's the case, you guys wanna, go ahead and introduce ourselves and get the show on the road since we're here?
Let's do it.
Alright, hello everybody, I am Kiki, or Goggles, or Kirsten, or whatever you want to call me, and today I am voicing Maya Fey.
Hello, I'm E-Man. I'm contractually obligated Phoenix Wright voice actor, and I think it's just Phoenix today.
I'm Sam, and I'm voicing Ron Delight.
I'm Judge and I'll be voicing the screeching lady whose name I can't remember.
Oh yeah.
I'm Astrid, and I'll be voicing the Mask Star Damask, Luke at me.
Hey, I'm Yosh. I'll be voicing Godon't. And I'm also here to remind everyone to make a tweet about the stream.
Oh my god, I literally have one ready to go, and I forgot to tweet it. Thank you. I gotta put it in the Discord too. Thank you. Is back in session. I wish I could just copy paste, but the tags don't work if you do that. At least not in my experience. So I gotta individually tag everybody.
That's an appropriate gif.
I like it.
I just wish I had popcorn.
Popcorn. Okay. Alright, well with that, thanks for the reminder.
No problem.
Hey, Nick!
What is it this time?
You
Jeez,
won't
wow,
believe-
Phoenix. Phoenix, really? Holy shit,
Coming out the
Phoenix.
door pissed. You won't believe how many people are here for the trial.
Well, it is a murder case.
What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door.
Next door?
Why don't you know this, Nick? They're having Detective Atmy's trial today.
Detective at me?
They say they're going to try him as Mask Star to Mask.
Already? That was fast.
Boy, I'd love to see Mask Star to Mask's trial.
Should be Ron, I think.
Okay.
I know.
By the way, where's Pearls?
Oh, she went back home. She said she can't neglect her training anymore.
I know you don't like me.
Damn, he's having a rough one.
Pearls has really gotten into her training lately, huh?
Yeah, ever since that incident last year.
Please don't ignore me.
Oh, Mr. Delight, good morning.
No one likes me. No one would notice me, even if I killed someone.
Come on, don't be silly. Wait a sec.
You don't mean you're the murderer?
No, I'm just a poor thief.
Yoshi said, I think the person being killed would notice you.
No, wait, that's not right. A thief can't really be poor.
Now, let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from a second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending to him to help him commit the heists.
Do you really think there's a connection between the thief and the murder, Nick?
It's possible, but today's trial is a race against the clock.
Huh? How come? Let's just take our time like always.
I'm afraid that's not an option.
Hmm?
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
You're ready. Preparation is the last refuge of the week.
Alright, so settle down, children. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Godon't.
It's Godot, Your Honor. We've been over this before.
Okay, Godon't.
Ugh, he's got the judge in the palm of his hand. Yet again.
I'm not so sure about this, Mr. Tried. Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all.
What?
I'm afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Godot.
Ha! Then you need to get out more, Your Honor. Touch grass. Life is war, but that's exactly why you must be more precise in your wording. That's all my statement means. You understand now, right?
Yes. Well then, let me briefly summarize the details of this case.
Wow, the judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change.
The victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His body was found in a safe at approximately 9 AM on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated of 1 AM of the previous day.
And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant.
Very well done, Mr. Godot. Please call your first witness.
I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial. But the first one is always the best.
Mr. Goat, your witness?
Okay then, let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, has to say for himself.
The defendant? Well, Mr. Wright, does the defense have any objections? It may be a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but...
I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then.
We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delight to testify.
Ha! You've got guts, right?
Alright then, Mr. Ron Delight, please take the stand.
You did it, didn't you?
Yes.
What?
No. That's not true.
For a moment there, I thought we'd set the record for the shortest trial ever.
Well, Mr. Delight already looks plenty guilty with that face he's making.
And once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin.
Very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security?
Well, that's kind of hard to say. Boy, I wish I could go.
Now then, let's hear some testimony about what's happened.
That evening around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. I'd been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was.
1 a.m., the exact time the murder took place.
The weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up. Ha! It's better today too. Just like my destiny.
You'd never know that from the way he's chugging it down.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please.
She said every time Ron Delight tilts his head like that, it looks like he's trying to shake water out of his ear after falling asleep.
It does! Holy
Which
shit!
is extremely accurate.
Also, his hair looks like Lego hair.
It does!
Looks like
Oh
Legos.
my god, you're right!
He's got the Lego pauldrons too. Look at him.
Yeah, absolutely!
Ron the Lego man.
I need a Rondolite minifigure now.
I want a Phoenix Wright courtroom Lego set. I would actually.
That would be
buy
amazing.
Be the bomb.
You could put any Lego minifigures in court.
Oh my god.
This is now the trial of Darth Vader.
Course is now in the trial of Steve Minecraft.
Steve Minecraft is.
Hmm.
It ordered you there?
It was the first time I'd gotten a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere.
Does that mean you've got other blackmail letters then?
That would have probably been something to lead with. Oh, of course, they'd say things like, steal this, or take that. Can't take that.
I'll see those for later, Mr. Delight.
Please don't say any more. Now, what should I do?
So what did the blackmail letter in question say?
It said to bring $50,000.
Money, eh? A perfect motive for committing murder.
Oh, but wait! I never intended to pay that money anyway.
Oh, is that right?
After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of.
An important point indeed. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony.
Yes, sir.
Ha!
A muddy mud skipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do.
The blackmail threat didn't scare me. It wasn't going to cause me trouble or anything.
You used to be a security chief for KB Security, right?
Yes, that's right.
A security chief? You?
And yet, a year ago, you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge? A perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say?
This isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject?
Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job.
Well,
The world is filled with those who have said, I wish I had never asked that.
Okay, then I take it back.
Defendant, please answer the question.
I needed money.
You needed money?
Well, you see, Desi loves to spend it. It's kind of her hobby.
Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick? You have no room to talk, Maya.
My salary wasn't nearly enough. So I stole data from the company.
You what?
What are you on right away? Maya doesn't spend anything, she just steals everything.
That's true. That's true.
No, but she spends Nick's money by making
That's also
him
true.
buy things. So, you know, she's doing basically the same thing that Desiree's doing.
Yeah. KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies. And since I was the security team chief,
You stole some data and sold it.
Mr. Bullard found out and I was fired immediately.
What? I wish I'd never asked that.
Wow, really? I was somehow able to keep it secret and made it seem like I'd quit on my own.
What is it, Nick? You don't look so good.
Someone who brings harm to the company is fired as punishment. You do well to remember that.
He sure told you.
So you admit that you stole the data from your company, is that correct?
Yes, I'm sorry.
This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony.
Oh man. This whole thing took a turn for the worse, crashed and blew up. It's gonna take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster.
He fired me for selling company secrets, but Desi doesn't know about that.
Why would you do something like that?
Well, for Desi's hobby, what else?
Wasting money, huh? It's not.
It's not a waste!
So Miss Delight doesn't know that her husband was fired, does she? Also, they call her Miss Delight all the time and then specifically say that she's married. They never call her Mrs. Delight, and it bothers the heck out of me.
So it would seem.
I'm not sure what to think about couples who keep secrets like that from each other.
Can't believe it. This case has seriously gotten even Maya to think seriously about couples.
Please try to stay focused, Mr. Wright.
There wasn't much to his testimony, was there?
Sounds like he's avoiding something. At least that's what it sounds like to me.
Uh-oh. I've got a bad feeling about this. We'd better be careful.
But if we don't find some way to make him spill the beans, we'll never get closer to the truth.
Yeah.
I added that one to a spreadsheet earlier today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was looking at it and thought, I added not much to this one.
I
Let's see if I missed
noticed-
anything.
Yeah, I noticed there was not much there. So, I'm gonna do this, I think. There's 2 ways to get this, and this one says we get more Godot dialogue if we do this one, I think.
You used to be security chief for KB Security, right? Wait, I think
Did we already do this?
I'm having deja vu.
Hmm.
But I think does it branch off into something else?
Maybe.
I think is that why
Maybe.
we're doing it again?
This is telling me that if you do something and choose yes he would and then present Desiree's profile, the same thing will happen, but you'll get more Godot dialogue where he uses another metaphor and calls you his amigo.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
So,
Revenge for no grudge, perfect mood.
well, no. Okay, this guy doesn't know what it's talking about. Okay. We have too much evidence now.
I feel like there's one case that I remember we had so much goddamn evidence, and then half
Rise
of it
from
just
the
never got
ashes.
used. Right, that's the one.
It's always that one.
Yeah, it's usually.
They didn't. Even though it was made later, they didn't do the thing where it's like, oh, we better toss the evidence we don't need anymore. It's like, no, everything's important, even the rotating badger video. Mr. Delight, what you said just now doesn't match what you just told me yesterday.
Huh? What doesn't?
I think you must have been scared. Very scared. Of having a certain person find out your secret.
Oh,
A certain person?
Mm-hmm. Miss Desiree Delight, the defendant's wife.
well, but I. Listen to me, my Desi, she's.
Looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins.
Godot!
Yes, we know. It was all your wife's fault.
What do you mean?
Mr. Delight stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habit, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that is how this murder came about.
Oh.
No! Everything is falling neatly into place for him.
Don't talk about my Desi like that, or you'll be sorry.
Ron pulls out a fucking saber and starts charging Godot.
You underestimate my power.
Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far.
What do you think, Nick?
I think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes.
Clearly there was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data for his wife, and he killed to protect his secret. A family man who cared just a little too much.
The motive is clear. Let's move on. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. We are all ears.
Can I pause for like a second? I just spilled a little bit of water and I gotta clean it up.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
good. Yoshi said, "I do not know if I want this couple to succeed or not at times." That's pretty valid. I don't know, man.
Can't believe this game has really great characters. Unbelievable.
Crazy, right?
Every killer is like morally like the worst person alive. It actually does feel like kind of a change of pace.
That is true.
Yeah,
By the time you're done with it, it's usually like, oh, thank God.
I think that Phoenix Wright should absolutely be adapted to be a pantomime.
It does have a stage show version in Japan that they did. It's like everything's a stage show
Yeah, I
in
was gonna
Japan.
say everything gets a
Mhm.
stage version.
Yeah, that's like not hard.
But it just fits so well as a pantomime, I think.
Would like the audience be the people who declared the people guilty or innocent?
Yeah, that's the audience involvement.
Look
Yoshi's-
out, Phoenix! Von Karma's behind you with the
Oh,
taser.
Oh no, I'm not.
It was me.
Oh no, Von Karma's here.
Yeah, my spine feels it from the taser. God, that's something I can pride myself on is the sound of. It's admittedly like Mario Sunshine, Mario getting electrocuted, but just going.
I didn't even try when I was playing that case. I just knew I couldn't do it. I think the only like good sounds of pain I've been able to do so far is when Phoenix and the judge get whipped.
Oh yeah.
Ouch! There were some times we'd do so many times where Phoenix had to go ouch. Instead of like authentic, I just go ouch. Sound like fucking meows. Meow, that hurts. Yeah. Tell him to shut up. Fucking pipe bomb.
I'm gonna go and advance to the next slide so that way whenever Sam's ready he can read.
And
Yoshi-
gives some good music.
Yeah, true. The music in this is so good in general, but 3 has really like stepped up its game.
Mm.
Yoshi said that Desiree and Ron seem like a good fit, but enable the worst parts of each other at the same time, which is very true.
Oh yeah.
If you have a shopping addiction and somebody enables it, you're just asking for trouble.
Girls be shopping. I love. It's the funniest punchline ever. Girls be shopping.
It's hilarious. I also hope he sees an ear doctor soon. No, for real.
And the hairdresser.
Oh no, the
Yeah.
ear doctor comes later in the series.
Oh no.
Please say he makes lots of ear puns.
I don't remember this character. Is it from like the 3DS games?
No, I think it's from this game, but we don't actually meet the character who's the ear doctor.
Oh.
We just hear about
Oh
them.
right, I remember now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
If they were in court, you'd probably hear shit like, "Did you not hear my testimony? Open your ears, or shall I set you an appointment?"
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm back.
You're good. Did you get everything cleaned up okay?
Yeah, no, I'm good. It didn't spill over anything important. It's
Okay,
just
that's good.
on a little end table. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there.
Damn hedgehog.
Suddenly,
I
I
wonder
was hit
who
on
the
the
killer
forehead.
is.
After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. When I came to, Mr. Bullet was lying there, dead.
Why is his tongue stuck out?
It's a corpse that's been like held up and it fell forward.
Yeah.
Really good.
I see. Suddenly hit on the forehead, huh? I believe the detective from yesterday provided similar testimony. He said that Master Damask struck him on the head from behind.
Of course, since Atmi turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie.
Huh. No one's going to believe a pathetic lie like that.
What are you saying? I really was attacked.
We'll find out if what you say is true or not during the cross-examination.
Got that, Mr. Trite? Don't go easy just because he's your client. If I see any sign that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend.
That's nice of him.
Don't need to worry about that, Mr. Godot.
I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it.
That? Could you please clarify what you were referring to?
Why, my Master Damask costume, of course.
Wait a moment. Master Damask?
Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as Master Damask. And then I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security.
What?
Nick, did you know about this? He never told me this.
I don't recall him mentioning it to me either.
Even I didn't know that. It seems that a friend really loves to keep secrets.
I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Wait. That's not right. You know how sometimes things just slip your mind.
My sixth cup of coffee is staring up at me coldly.
At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony.
So, funny thing, I said this off stream before, but I have never had a single cup of coffee in my life, so it's really funny. I'm watching Godot.
Very ironic, yes.
I've had 3 today.
Oh boy.
I think I'm addicted to coffee. I'm Godot. Oh my god.
I do
My
love
poor-
coffee,
my
but
poor
I'm not
anxious-
that level.
My poor anxious heart can barely take more than one. Like, coffee sets off my anxiety. It's
I'm-
well, it's a dice roll. It's either like I'm a productive machine or everything is falling apart.
I'm pretty sure that at this point I've just built up an absolute resistance to caffeine because I've been drinking it since I was about 7.
Yeah, me too.
Shit.
I can't have
Uh.
17 a day though. That's a bit much.
Yeah.
17 within a few hours, actually.
Why were you dressed up as Mask Star Damask?
Why? Because I'm Master Damask, of course.
What are you talking about? Master Damask's trial is being held next door.
Oh, yes, I guess so. Anyway, at that time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the Master Damask issue. So I thought I should go as him just to be safe.
Oh boy.
Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than I expected.
Took a lot longer?
What is he talking about?
What do you mean took a lot longer?
Oh, opening the safe, of course. Oh my god, I forgot he still hasn't mentioned that he hid the fucking body.
Oh no!
Oh, my cape got caught on the safe door, you see. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullard's body.
What was that? Back up a second.
Yes.
You were the one that hid the body in the safe?
Well, yeah.
Inconceivable! Why? Why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking?
Question. When does someone toss their dirty shorts in the washing machine?
What?
The answer is simple. When they take them off.
As usual, I have no fucking idea what you're saying.
Do you mean that Mr. Delight hid the body because he's the murderer?
So, you're not as stupid as you look.
His metaphor this time was really obscure.
Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you?
Yoshi said, I just realized if Mr. Atmy's trial is happening next door, it means there is more than one judge in this city, which I know is an obvious thing for what feels like a large city, but we always get the same best judge, so it feels odd there was a chance we could have been getting different judges each trial this whole
What if,
time.
what if it's
He's
like,
actually-
what
he's
if it's
actually
like a
running-
Nurse Joy situation where it's all the same judge and they all look exactly the same?
He's actually
Yeah,
running back
that
and
has to be
forth like in a movie where they he swaps outfits each time and then comes back to wearing their own outfit.
Well, yes.
Why am I the only one not in the loop here? Witness, make sure you add this to your testimony.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh. Looks like a storm front is moving in over the fair weather judge.
I panicked and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes.
Make sure I'm not thinking to myself. Okay, perfect. Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record?
And what might this be?
The record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, a security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02 a.m.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Gesundheit.
What?
If Mr. Runny Nose Ron Delight truly was the murderer, sorry, that was low hanging fruit. I'm sorry. I was thinking of some way because the sneeze happened. I was gonna like.
I mean, I can sit there picturing Ron sitting there wiping his sleeves on it with his nose
Oh,
in the middle of the case.
Oh my god.
He would have ran as soon as that buzzer sounded. After all, a security guard would have been heading his way.
Let's remember who we're dealing with here. He probably had no idea there were security personnel in the building.
Motherfucker, he worked for them!
Yeah, I was
Up
gonna
until
say,
a year
like,
ago, my client was working as the chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them.
But, as it turns out, the guard never came.
That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact the guard was a pathetic loser who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend, and was anywhere in the vicinity, was not something Mr. Delight could have known.
Yeah.
Huh. Again, remember who we're dealing with here. It's a sure bet that Mr. Delight didn't even notice the buzzer going off.
God, we haven't had a true objection slugfest in ages without the judge interrupting. I'm living for this.
Extremely loud, incorrect buzzer.
This buzzer's extremely loud. There's no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is.
Conscious? What do you mean by that?
Another one.
Fine. Let's hear your theory.
Recall the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delight said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes.
Unconscious? So he fainted?
That's why Mr. Delight didn't know that the buzzer had sounded. And that's why he thought he had time to hide the body.
So, what are you trying to say?
Mr. Delight was knocked out, and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right. Whoever it was, they knocked out Ron Delight and then pressed the buzzer.
Order in the court. Mr. Wright, this is...
This is preposterous. It was this kid. Ron Delight is the one who killed Cain Bullard.
Then who pressed the buzzer?
It was... the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away. He must have had on long enough to push that button.
So Cain Bullard sounded the buzzer himself. What is your opinion on this, Mr. Wright?
I need to prove the real criminal was there at the scene. But how? Can I prove that it wasn't Cain Bullard who sounded the buzzer?
The defense's opinion is this, Your Honor. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer.
It's Phoenix's badge.
I believe this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence you were looking for.
The emergency buzzer? Is there some kind of clue on it?
Absolutely not.
Hey, come on now. At least give some thought to what you say before opening your mouth.
The fact that there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue.
No, I'm the one who's clueless.
This button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullard had really pressed it himself, naturally, he would have left his fingerprints behind. The fucking spit take. Oh, yeah.
Ron Delight obviously wiped them off.
Why would he? A guard could have come in at any moment.
He touched that button. I know he did.
The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Mask Star Damask. And Mask Star Damask always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have had to wipe the button free of fingerprints?
Order, order, order!
It would seem. I've been forced to eat crow.
Someone's eating bird? Mmm.
Oh my god.
Oh, mine was muted when I said that. Oops.
Oh dear.
Already forgot the line. I wonder what blend number crow flavored coffee is.
However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency buzzer? Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger? Yeah. What's with this awkward silence all of a sudden?
Huh. It looks like you're fresh out of parlor tricks.
They're on to you, Nick.
Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts. Okay. The real culprit killed Mr. Bullard at around 1 a.m.
And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right?
The killer clobbered Mr. Delight and then sounded the buzzer.
Even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed.
Security was supposed to respond.
Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say.
Very well then.
Oh, you've got some guts. I like that in an opponent.
Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer?
To find out what it did.
The killer knew if they pressed that button, a guard would come running.
To be fair, who can see a big red button and not press it?
That's so
And that was exactly what they wanted.
Do you mean to say that the killer called the guard on purpose?
Yes, although as it turned out, he never showed up.
Because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time.
Oh my.
Huh. What a touching story. You're saying the killer had a change of heart and got the guard to turn himself in?
No, I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, Kane Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Ron Delight, who was out cold. And the third person, the real killer.
Hypothetically, yes.
Now then. In this escape, in a situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Ron Delight.
And if any security guards came running in at that time, they would think that I was the murderer.
Yes, that was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Ron Delight for the murder. I'm a sucker for a good spit take, and the fact he was like, "Oh, better drink some coffee."
Yeah.
Order, order, order.
Would seem. I've been made to eat my words once again.
Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee.
Mr. Wright, who was it? Who is it that tried to frame me? Wait. Wait a second. I'm the one and only Master Damask, so...
Nick, you mean the real killer is...
We're gonna drag that person in here right now.
But who is it?
I don't have any solid proof yet, but think about it. The killer knew Mr. Delight's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to KP security that night. So the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Kane Bullard. It's clearly Old Bag. It's Old
Yep.
Bag.
Yep.
She wanted the head honcho security job.
Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Mr. Rondelite for the murder of Ken Bullard?
Detective Luke at me. He's the only one who could have done it.
Ace detective.
Luke at me?
You mean Master Damask did it?
Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Mask Star Damask at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Kane Bullard.
Order. Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Theft and murder. Which is the more serious crime?
They're not even close. Murder is the more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to capital punishment.
Please remember the trial from yesterday, if you would. When Luke at me confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom.
Of course, the famous detective was unmasked as... well, as Mask Star Mask.
Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along.
To be found guilty.
Mask Star Damask had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at Lordly Taylor. In other words, being found guilty as Mask Star Damask was Luke Atmey's airtight, watertight, and unassailable alibi.
A guilty verdict as an alibi.
You know, it's almost time.
For what?
For Luke Atmey's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial, after all. If we're going to stop this trial and start that one, we need to do it now. Of course. That's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder.
Mr. Luke Atmey's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If we were to intrude and fail to provide adequate proof of his true crime, Mr. Delight would be left with no grounds for the appeal.
It would be super awkward.
Am I really sure about this?
Ha. And that's only good when your life's the ante.
Mr. Wright, I believe in you.
Mr. Delight.
So please, I'm begging you.
Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this?
Phoenix.
What was that?
For those not in the know, this is on the soundboard, and Elizabeth is not here right now. Phoenix. Phoenix.
It's like Animal Crossing speech where it's like
Phoenix.
That was timed perfectly.
That voice. It sounds like
Phoenix.
Mia.
Phoenix.
Your Honor, the defense requests an immediate recess.
If there are any Godot lines happening right now, my screen is a white screen.
No, what?
I
It froze?
Kirsten,
I
It was
think
all the
so.
phoenixes.
Kirsten, you broke it.
Oh, let me
No,
try.
my laptop froze, I think.
Oh no, your laptop?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yoshi's
not
stream
good.
froze as well, he said.
Wait, really? What?
What?
Oh no. Huh. It seems fine on my end.
Yeah,
Wait,
I'm
wait,
still
it-
seeing the
yeah,
Discord
it's
screen
fine
share
on
fine on my
mine.
part.
Let me try restarting.
Yeah. And Yoshi, please let me know if it comes back for you. I don't know.
That gives
Isn't
me
it-
enough time to bring my plate down anyway, because I was just eating.
Oh,
Isn't
that-
it weird how it affected two people at the same time and they both have Yoshi in their name?
Yeah, that is funny. Yeah, I think it's. It looks fine on
The Yoshi
my end,
genetic.
I think. Yeah, I'm still seeing the Discord
Yoshi
bubbles
genetic.
pop up.
I'm trying to get some morphogenetic field joke involving Yoshi, but it's not working.
No.
And you gotta help us!
Yoshi, are you back okay?
Oh, that's your answer, huh? There we go.
There we
Okay.
go.
Just moving. Okay.
That's Phoenix's internal emotions right
Yeah.
Right, well, I've decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Rice, when we return, please summon Mr. Luke Acme to the stand.
now. Yes, Your Honor.
I'm so glad I remembered to add that soundboard clip.
Well, Sir Detective Atme. Oh, I forgot. Astrid just said they were gonna go.
Oh.
Whoops.
Damn.
Chicken.
No, Yoshi, the game didn't freeze. Astrid just said she was gonna go grab her plate, and, so I'm waiting for them to get back.
Phoenix had to run in and just shout shit like.
It sounds like a Pikachu tail.
It does,
Kinda,
or like
yeah.
a Manectric, like kind of like Manectric a little bit from.
It
Gen
does
3.
look like Minor Trick.
And because the rest of it's shaved, it looks like he's just glued it on.
Oh my god, I did not think I'd be that long. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We
You're
didn't realize
Logan.
either.
I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly.
Oh no, Sir Detective Atme. You are the one who...
Holy shit!
The Andros judge.
That's enough! This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant. Look at me.
Wait! Don't hand your verdict down yet, please!
Well, well, Sir Lawyer. Welcome to my courtroom.
Who's this hoser, eh?
He's Canadian!
He sure is.
My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law. And I wish to file an accusation against this man. Look at me. Christ.
Accusation? You accuse Mask Star Damask?
That man is not Mask Star Damask. He's just a ruthless murderer.
He's Hank Hill?
Oh my god.
Yes, tell him, Yoshi.
To be construed.
Oh, that was it. Bad.
I'm pretty sure that judge voice is the one that I applied with.
It did kind of seem a little familiar, so that is possible. It's been
But
so
surely
long.
surely we will never run into that judge ever again, so
Ever,
it should be
ever,
fine.
ever.
I just panicked and just didn't know what
Can't
to do.
believe there's another fucking judge.
I was waiting for this when we were talking about another judge earlier. I knew it was going to happen this trial.
No, same. I was like, when we were talking about it, I was like, oh boy, you guys, buckle up your seatbelts.
Yeah, because we hadn't discussed it. I was like, what the fuck am I doing this? And what do I do?
I like our judge more as well, Yoshi.
He doesn't draw everything out.
My sis?
I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice.
Phoenix. So then she's still alive, inside your heart.
Nicky boy!
Oh, Mrs. Delight.
Is it true that detective's the real killer?
To be honest, we don't have any definite proof. But he's the only one who could have done it.
But wasn't he at Lord Lieutenant that night?
Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atme want to kill Kane Bullard?
Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom.
I need to fight some solid proof fast. And it's gotta happen sooner rather than later.
I don't know why I said that like Squidward saying, I have got to get my dick sucked.
I have got to get my dick sucked.
I've got to get my hands in a Krabby Patty.
Yoshi said, Mrs. Delight, if your husband needs to see an ear doctor, you might need to see a throat one. You sound very different.
Yeah, that's just when she's not been ingesting helium.
Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Look at me, please take the stand.
Well, well. How do you do, Sir Lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly.
Look, I toppled over like 3 people to get in that courtroom. I don't give a shit. I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. Not when it would have given you your perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Mask Star Damask.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid even the great Luke at me has no idea what you mean. Of course, I have been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I could know what's been going on in here.
You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Mask Star Damask.
Indeed. It's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example.
So, you continue to insist that you are, in fact, Mask Star Damask.
Of course.
Very well then. Look at me. Let us begin with this simple question. On October 12th at 1 a.m., Kane Bullard was murdered. How many parrot burgers was I eating at that time? And where were you?
That's an average math question.
You were eating
That's so
seven.
true.
One
It's like
and
the-
one without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself.
He's talking about you, Phoenix.
But don't worry,
Large.
I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge, or you, Phoenix Wright.
Thanks.
Alright, Mr. Adme. The night of the murder. Speak. We are ears.
As you
He
wish,
loves saying we're all
Sir
ears.
Prosecutor. I was stealing the urn as Mask Star Damask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Mask Star Damask was the same time as the murder.
It seems the main point of discussion will be this photo of the crime scene.
Everything else up until now was all part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well.
Even the great Mask Star Damask cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive.
Unfortunately, Mr. Adme, we still have to do your cross-examination.
A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool. Fucking okay, Francisco.
I was gonna say, Abby's
Getting
been taking
flashbacks.
lessons from Von Karma.
I mean, if
Getting
you've seen
flashbacks.
how I've reacted to Francisco on Twitter, then
Yeah, fair.
Was how to miss.
I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick.
The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point?
that's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken.
You sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right?
Indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target.
I see. You truly are evil, aren't you?
Yes, evil is what I am.
Hey, Nick. Isn't there something odd about this?
Hmm?
Detective Atme was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona.
You know, that's true. It is kind of odd. About the camera that took this photograph.
Oh, come now. It's all too clear what you're thinking.
Huh?
You think I altered the timestamp on the photograph, don't you?
I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lordly Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lordly Taylor's staff that printed the picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way the picture could have been altered.
I see.
Looks like I better find something else that could be suspicious.
So this alibi is false?
It has to be, or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security.
But I'm not really spotting anything unusual.
There are two possibilities. Either the masks are a mask and the photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct?
Indeed it is. That is it. The very thing that proves I committed the crime.
The very thing that proves you committed the crime.
Yes, that's what I just said.
Surely, even you understand by now.
I have to repeat everything back that's said. It's part of my script. I have to do it.
Metal Gear.
Psycho Mantis.
Lordly Taylor provided that camera. There's no way I could have tampered with it. That means I could not have killed Kane Bullard, unless I had an accomplice. It was fucking Larry.
Larry did it. Sorry, Nick. I really wanted to kill him.
Come on, think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse, and this picture that was supposedly captures it. It's gotta be here. Isn't there something funny about this picture? You bet your fucking ass there is.
Are you implying that this picture is a fake?
You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. I took a look around the basement warehouse that night, before the theft took place. And there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night.
Very well, then let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph do you find funny?
The funny part is right here.
Why, this is a blood stain.
Was it?
Ah, blood. Now this case is getting interesting.
Yeah, it's Danganronpa blood.
Not exactly. The stain is actually pink paint, which is, I mean, adjacently correct, but shut the fuck up.
Oh, just paint. And peach colored at that.
From blood to peaches, this judge sure loves going on his wild tangents.
The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is, when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse, turns out that something should... oh my god. It turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen.
Well, Mr. Wright, what is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains?
The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following.
We've got to flash back to this, apparently.
Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be a perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it.
I myself was there, not here, not there, was there, the night the theft took place, and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, then that statue should have been there.
But when I went there the day after the theft, that statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner.
Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally.
Your Honor, this statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it that distance.
Ah. In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night?
Can you do it, Nick?
Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it?
Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you're prepared with your answer.
No.
Now then, who was the one that moved the golden statue on the night of the crime?
It was me.
The one who moved the statue is none other than Look at me.
Come now, Sir Lawyer. There you go again on one of your strange delusions.
Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions?
It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night.
That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue?
The reason for moving the golden statue. That's where our battle really begins.
Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to remove that statue?
The reason can be found here in this photograph. Look at me. You pretended to be Masked Star Damask. To create an alibi by showing you were at Lordly Taylor that night. But this photograph contains a single, fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would have been exposed like cheap film in a drugstore. That is why you had to move the statue.
A single fatal flaw?
Interesting theory. Please, enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist? Oh, I'm so glad you brought your own pointer this time.
Naturally, the lie in this photo is the timestamp.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Luke Atme went into KB Security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at oh my god. It would have been impossible for him to have been at Lordly Taylor at this time.
What does it have to do with the statue being moved?
Remember, if you will, Your Honor. When was the statue placed besides the warehouse door?
Well...
That statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime. And it was placed there in order to cover up the paint.
Exactly. Luke Atme had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim. And so, in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place.
What the...
Of course, the statue hadn't been yet brought down to the basement warehouse yet.
Ah,
So, on the day of the crime, Mr. Atme must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. So many goddamn metaphors. So many similes. Good lord.
Sorry.
And been brought down in a place where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Luke Atme had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make the room match with the way it had been in this photo.
order, order. Mr. Atme, is this true?
One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this?
What's that?
The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime.
It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lordly Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data.
Order, order. Mr. Godon't, what is the meaning of this? Godot, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down.
My 11th cup.
Jesus Christ.
I promise to drink no more than 17 during a trial,
Is your bladder okay?
which means I'm still good to the last drop. Oh, don't worry, we've had a break. I'm fine.
However, the defense has a very good point.
Good point. So what? We are but travelers on a road of infinite points.
I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points.
So, you say this photograph was taken ahead of time. And that the statue was moved in order to make it match. That's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied.
Which is...
That it's only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams.
That's very true.
No way! Don't fall for that, Your Honor!
Hey, Mr. Damask,
Yes?
if there's no funny business in your actions as Mask Damask, there should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So, let's hear it.
Yes, please provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the sacred urn.
I first received the request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box, and Zvari, it was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th.
That's pretty much all of the stuff we've heard before, isn't it?
Yeah, but we will find the truth. Wait, let me make sure I'm not thinking to myself. Okay. Yeah, but we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave.
Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time?
Zvari.
Very well then. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
You were asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews. Is that right?
Indeed. It seemed that they had heard of my Svarkling reputation.
Pain.
I see Miss Andrews is still attracting the weirdos.
You better watch out too, Maya.
Oh, okay.
wait, there was no context for her.
Yeah.
Did
Well,
he
Maya
just,
can...
did he just read his mind?
I was gonna say, Maya can read minds apparently anyways, so it's all good.
Mr. Atme, if you really are Mask Star Damask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct?
But of course.
Is there a problem with the calling card?
Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Mask Star Damask had written. Quote, take good care of the speckled urn, end quote. Now, the speckled urn here surely refers to the pink pattern on the sacred urn.
Yes, that is true. But so what?
Truth be told, there is no way that Mask Star Damask could have known about this pattern.
What do you mean?
This pink spotter pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains.
Paint stains?
And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor.
I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite.
The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say, an error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn.
You can't be serious.
And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atme had seen the urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. And because this photo was a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water.
What was that?
Was Mr. Krabs enough?
Phoenix, me boy, I need you to declare me guilty.
Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself?
All right, that did it. He's broken.
Nick, I think it's still a little early for a victory pose.
Huh?
Huh. It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days.
Conviction, you say?
Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Mask Starter Mask. And now, we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle?
That's a good point.
No way! Don't fall for that one too, Your Honor!
You say that Luke Edme was the one who killed Cain Ballard. Then let me ask you this. Why would he do that?
An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright, motive. Might you, my merry murderous motive manifest?
Nick, he's getting his second win.
If he prepared an alibi and pinned the crime on Mr. Rondelite, as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder.
The only one with any motive we've seen is Rondelite. Isn't that right, detective?
Indeed. According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear.
Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were.
I'd be honored to, Sir Old-Timer.
They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. Missile. He's in my head now, too.
Sorry, I can't help it.
No, it's
I
okay.
look at
I'm just
it.
making it funny about it.
Yeah, it's not even one of ours, it's just a dog like 2 houses down.
I love him. I, Luke Atney, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Cain Bullard decided to investigate Mask Starter Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Mask Starter Mask. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Cain Bullard. Truly a tragedy.
So the victim, Cain Bullard, blackmailed the defendant?
This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter.
What?
Very well, Mr. Wright. Begin your cross-examination.
I feel like that's like the 20th time I've said that today.
Yeah, there's been a lot of cross-examination. Give me 2 seconds, guys.
1, 2.
Ha ha ha, you didn't even Mississippi.
Why would I? I'm not from there.
You're about to be if you keep fucking being a funny man.
We use elephant.
Didn't even give us any good music while she's gone. Can't believe this.
SMH, 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 SMH.
I feel like her AFK music should be the Benny Hill theme.
It's just Phoenix Wright's theme song at this point.
Yeah.
I assume that goes on permanently in his brain anyway, on repeat.
Okay.
Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atme?
Oh, can we take a look at the letter?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, oh, really? That
I can't believe we
Wow.
cut Gumshoe's salary so much that he's blackmailing people.
Hey, pal.
Well, if it is just a few, I guess it's all right.
When you said that this letter was addressed to Ron Delight, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction.
Contradiction.
I don't know where a working contradiction like you gets off saying things like that.
You're one to talk.
At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you've got there, Junior?
Will you just put some ice in this for me? That'd be great. Thank you. I love you. Oh, sorry, I was not muted.
You were not muted.
It's all good.
Indeed. Time to man up, Mr. Wright. Just the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter.
I didn't ask somebody to cut me some ice. I asked them to put some ice in my cup, if that makes sense, Yoshi.
The wallet.
My fiance
The
was
wallet.
the what?
Go on, sorry.
Oh, the wallet.
No, so that's the wallet. That's the evidence.
Yes, I do love me a little umbrella, and a sparkler sounds dangerous. Thank you. Where is it at? There we go.
Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the Tear of Emanon, the stolen jewel.
You missed a chance to make it the tier of E-Man on.
We already did that like 5 times.
I wasn't here, don't blame me.
Well, I am gonna blame you because you just
Do your homework, Mark.
I'm only here for like 50% of the streams. I can't be expected
Well,
to know
don't
the
say
other
we-
50%.
You said we missed our chance.
I'm talking about for here.
7 chances.
That cow is dry,
How is
bro.
the judge meant to know anything that goes on when he's not here?
This is you.
Exactly. So I shouldn't know anything that I'm not here for.
What? No. Want to do the Von Karma to the wall?
I only know what goes on in the courtroom.
What about it?
The problem is this jewel's color.
Racist.
Color? I'm not much for discussing color myself.
According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. Quote, "I'll take that red diamond you received the other day." End quote.
Red?
Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the Tear of Emanon that the Starter Mask stole at all.
And your point is, Mr. Trite? So, you are trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? That is what you're trying to say, right, Trite?
That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright?
Well, that is what you're trying to say, right, Nick?
Yes. This is who Kane Bullard was actually blackmailing.
scary butts.
I've always blackmailing Pearl.
Naturally. It was you, Detective Atme.
Do you have some sort of basis for that claim?
You have been personally involved in every single Mask Star Damask case. In the last case, you recovered what was stolen. And received a jewel. As your reward.
A jewel.
Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring. That is the diamond referred to in the letter. Which means that Kane Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you.
Order in the court. Order, I say.
It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Trite.
Uh-oh. I don't like the way he said that.
Kane Bullard blackmailing Luke at me. Are you for real?
Yes, I am.
Nick, come on! Stand up to him!
Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world.
Yes, it certainly does.
Kane Bullard threatened to make Luke Atme's identity public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep a secret. So, just what was that identity?
Atme killed Kane Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity you wanted to keep secret?
This is what it all comes down to, Nick.
The identity that Luke Atme wanted to so desperately keep a secret was his identity as...
An ace detective, which is why he said it all the fucking time.
Don't tell me when I told you this, but I'm an ace detective. Luke Atme was a blackmailer.
Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Kane Bullard was the one blackmailing Luke Atme. Are you saying that Atme was blackmailing someone else on top of that?
Ugh, you have to admit, that does sound a little odd.
It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atme. But Rhonda Light was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident?
Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Emanon heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans.
Detailed plans? In which case that would mean that Rondolite was actually Master Damask.
That is what we are claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. Delight steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke Atme.
Silence! Now I see. It's all becoming clear.
What is?
When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with the tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong?
How did you?
You say that I, Luke Atme, was blackmailing Ron Delight. In which case I would have naturally known all about his relation to Masked Star Damask.
Well, yes.
Ron Delight started receiving plans from his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed that first crime.
Good point. You certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise.
In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence. During the first crime, how did Luke Atme know that Ron Delight was Masked Star Damask?
I think I see it.
See what?
When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief trying to be the center of attention.
What do you mean?
This newspaper clipping. It has a picture of you and Ron Delight in his guard uniform. It seems that Masked Star Damask didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket.
Bucket.
Dear God.
That sounds far too stupid to be true. Just like you, Phoenix.
I'm gonna... Correct. With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured it out, Mr. Atme. That's when you learned under his mask, Masked Star Damask was really Ron Delight. Oh, this is the crowd.
What a fraud. Gotta pass himself off as an ace detective.
What a
Ratio!
How dare you ratio me like that? I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective, and also Masked Star Damask. Why can't you understand that?
I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You are a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity.
Why you? How dare you even... Oh, he's doing the old back thing. I say, none of you can compare to my genius. You're just telling so cool and descriptive. What are you fucking saying? He's not speaking English.
He went to the old bag school of talking.
No.
Shout out to Ree for like being able to keep up with old.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
Ree
God.
was like, I think Old Bag was having trouble keeping up with Ree at some point. Ree was waiting for the next text block to show up.
Yeah, I don't know how she does it.
I think he was saying, go on, desecrate me.
Something like that.
It would seem we finally arrived at the real answer.
That was quite a performance by Mr. Atme.
Bailiff, please prepare a cell for Mr. Atme.
How many cups has it been now? I swear to God.
The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim.
What do you mean? I've already prepared to deliver my ruling.
Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge.
That's
But
Not your show.
I'm the judge.
You don't get much more in your face than that.
It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Trite.
What do you...
It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like, look at me, was a filthy blackmailer. And that he wasn't that Lottie Taylor the night of the murder.
That's right. That's why he's the one who killed Mr. Bull.
But there's still one thing you have yet to prove.
What's that?
Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was a cage security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered.
No. No way!
Order. Order in the court. Well, Mr. Wright?
This is it. This is this is the final round.
My final message.
Goodbye.
Save the world.
I've got to prove that Atme was at Mr. Bullard's office on that night.
But can you really prove that?
I don't know.
That's long enough. Mr. Trite, I want to hear your answer.
Oh, I need more time to stall! That night, Luke Atmiat was at KB Security, and the defense... I can't prove it.
Just as I thought.
But, if we hear more of Detective Atme's testimony...
Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Trite.
What do you mean?
I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean.
What?
Have you forgotten? Luke Atme is here after we interrupted his own trial. And you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial. And face his guilty verdict as mask started a mask.
No.
Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as Mask starred a mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Rhonda Lights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. But it's so obvious they're doing a mere thing.
Order. Order in the court. That's enough deliberation over this witness.
I can't believe this. At this rate, Ron is...
Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence and...
By then it'll be too late.
Huh? Why?
Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court of law.
Oh my god, I love that show.
I wanted to make the same joke.
Double jeopardy.
Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court, that defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is a fundamental rule of all courts.
Oh, so it's a legal hellscape and everything except for this one thing.
And it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else.
Mr. Atme will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as mask started a mask, which means
He'll be innocent as far as the murder of Cain Bullard is concerned.
No way.
The fact that you are unable to prove Mr. Atme's guilt of that crime here Means that he will never again be tried as Cain Bullard's murderer.
That's a mood. This whole sprite is a mood sometimes. Also, like how his fingers are perfectly interlaced in the fucking spikes in his hair. He's trying not to mess it up.
Well, there's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if Rod is proclaimed to be innocent, the real killer, Luke Atme, will go free.
You've cross-examined every witness, every statement the witness has made here today, several times. And as long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid I have to declare that there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? Then I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke Atme.
Phoenix.
Oh my god.
I think I see it. Your Honor, when you were a child, this was what was on your report card every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result.
How did you...
Phoenix.
Raise your head up high.
Phoenix.
Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets.
That voice. No way.
It's the imposter.
Long time no see.
Phoenix. Phoenix.
She's got a starter now.
Mia!
This is the true power of the Karain channeling technique. I know that it's really Maya who's standing before me. But right now, she's my mentor, Mia Fey.
Now, let's do this.
But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine.
Not yet. The testimony's not over yet.
What do you mean?
Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today.
Yes, that's true, but...
Unfortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks.
Well, sir lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as Mask Stardom Mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Ron Delights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. I was, for a second, sure they were going to do the Olbeck thing.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, but these comments appear to have no importance whatsoever.
Very well. Then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, assert our right to question them. Is that all right with you, prosecutor?
Is something the matter, Mr. Godon't?
Nothing.
Oh, sir lawyer, it looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehoods will do anything to me, Luke at...
Let's hear it.
Huh?
It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination.
Mr. Godot, what are you...
Very well then, Mr. Luke Atme. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks again.
The defense defense would like to hear why you declared the defendant to be the true murderer.
So please, give us one last bit of testimony.
Phoenix.
This is it. This is our absolute last chance.
Yes, Chief.
I knew I had to at that time.
Yeah.
Indeed, it is true that I was not the imposter. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Rhonda Light. And thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Delight was wearing his Mask Star Damask outfit, which is why he left no prints. And the blackmail letter, the victim lightly just mistook the color of the jewel. Vari. Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy.
This testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well.
The witness's earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained, and none of them seem to contradict anything.
My mic stopped working for a second
Oh
there.
no.
But of course.
But how did you know about the emergency buzzer?
The police investigation documents went directly through me. And I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, sir lawyer.
Are you going to make even more trouble for us now, Sir Lawyer?
I will not allow any more of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wrong.
Yes, Your Honor.
We cannot postpone Luke Atney's trial any longer. This is your last chance.
Hang on a second. Just one chance?
Ha! It seems that the party is about to begin.
Well,
Phoenix. Phoenix.
There's any evidence that contradicts with that testimony.
so it would seem.
What do you mean, so it would seem?
Listen,
Phoenix.
pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it.
Cup number 17. The last cup. It seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial.
I have to find a fatal contradiction in this testimony. And I need to point it out without presenting evidence. Which means all I can do is find a contradictory remark and press it.
Remember, you only get one chance.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your final cross-examination.
It's like someone's got a gun aimed at Phoenix as says that.
So, funny thing about this testimony, if you press the wrong thing, you get a game over. You instantly lose all your HP.
Yep.
Oh my god, I love this game.
Thank goodness for guides.
Mr. Atme, about this last remark.
You still don't get it, do you, Trite? This isn't an attempt to be pressing the witness on every little statement.
I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Godot.
What?
Mr. Atme, it seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder.
How can you say that?
Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Atme? Quote, the button didn't have any fingerprints on it. Why? End quote. Mr. Delight was wearing his mask-to-mask outfit. Correct?
Indeed. That's what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof.
More like your deductions prove that you're a fool.
I'm sorry. Whatever do you mean?
For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty.
17 cups of coffee will do that to you. When exactly did we learn the fact that Ron Delight was dressed as Mask Star to Mask when he went to the scene of the crime?
That was,
It was just a few hours ago. Back when my sixth cup was looking at me with a cold stare.
Did I forget to mention it before? Oh, I'm sorry, I never had a chance to mention it up until now.
That's right. The defendant had yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should have known this are those who have been watching this trial. Do you understand now, Detective Atme? There's no way that you should have known about that. You were in the next courtroom being tried as Mask Star the Mask. So then enlighten us. Just how did you know about that piece of information?
Well...
Come on, this detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand.
And it's those chances that I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. Delight was wearing his Mask the Mask outfit. There was one and only one way for Detective Atme to have found that out.
One way, you say?
Please recall, if you will, Mr. Delight's testimony.
When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there.
For a second, my client witnessed the real killer.
But Mr. Delight never saw his attacker. So there's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was Look at Me.
It's with that statement that I'll turn this case on its head.
Just what are you implying?
Mr. Delight saw the real killer, correct? Now, if you turn that statement around, it stands to reason that the real killer had also seen Ron Delight.
Impossible. No way!
No way!
I thought it was Shadow the Hedgehog.
Detective Atme, you saw Mask Star to Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Kane Bullard and assaulted Ron Delight. That was the only way you could have known what Ron was wearing.
Earthquake!
fuck, Lavos is emerging.
Take a good look, everyone! Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself! Here I am, the tragic clown!
I was about to say.
That's the same line you gave yesterday.
Get some new material.
But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time.
What an awfully complicated incident. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke at me, who was in turn blackmailing Ron Delight. And upon killing his blackmailer, Luke at me tried to frame Ron Delight. He then claimed to be guilty as Stardy Mask in order to escape his true crime of jaywalking.
And to that end, he came up with this plan. To use the double jeopardy rule when making his alibi. This is
This is
definitely
wrong.
Ron.
At any rate, it would seem we finally found the truth.
Excuse me.
I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of murderer.
Me!
Oh, I didn't realize you were there.
Why wouldn't he be?
About the verdict.
I know you never committed any murderer.
That's right. I'm so glad you understand that. But I really am Master Damask.
Huh?
So thanks to that trial yesterday, I'm innocent now, right? What was it you said? Double jeopardy?
Now that you mention it,
I've been careless.
Careless?
What do you think, Mia?
As the defendant says, the rule of double jeopardy is absolute. A defendant can never be tried twice for a crime in which he was once found innocent.
Holy shit. Then, Stardy Mask is really innocent?
It would seem so. For now.
Also, my food got dropped off, so I'm glad music's playing. I'll run quick.
I'd just like everyone to know that laughing fit is my last line ever.
Ever?
Ever?
I don't have any more characters.
Oh, really? Oh my god, you're right.
I mean, I could be like the #1 understudy, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, we might, because there's so goddamn many people. Not in the next two as much, but that last one has so many fucking people in it. There's a very good chance that you might have to get pulled to be an understudy.
Yeah. Plus, I will probably have played that case in my own replay
No,
by
honestly,
then.
that's true.
Voices for everyone.
And within like the next 2 years, we'll have the fourth one casted probably. So at least we'll have that to look forward to.
I'll just you wait. I'll voice like everyone in Ghost Trick instead.
There you go.
For now.
now then, this court finds the defendant.
Oh my god, I was waiting to hear objection.
Yeah. Boy, this is really lucky. Wait, this isn't so good after all. You see, the thing is, I still am Master Mask after all.
God, Sam, I love your Ron voice because it reminds me of some Oblivion NPCs where it's like, this is illegal, you know.
Stop! You violated the law.
I bet he doesn't get to the Cloud District very much.
Well, that's Skyrim, you fool. But same genre.
I was gonna say they have the same bloody style of voices.
That's true.
That's fair.
You did it!
Phoenix.
Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's because Maya doesn't call on me much these days.
Oh?
I'm just joking.
Phoenix.
Don't take everything so
Phoenix.
seriously. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days.
You mean about becoming the master of the Korean channeling school?
Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother.
Misty Faye, right?
Watch over her, will you?
Phoenix.
Of course.
Well then, see you around. Pass out.
What?
Mia.
Mr. Wright. I don't know what to say.
Congratulations, Mr. Delight.
Thank you so much. No, wait. Nothing really matters anymore, though, than the donuts.
Come
Holy
on, just be
shit, you
happy
wouldn't-
already.
Maya.
You've been cleared of the murder charges and got off as Mask Started Mask to boot.
But in exchange, I lost everything.
Huh? What do you mean?
Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming Mask Star Damask. I did it all for one reason, for her.
You mean your wife, Desiree?
She hates criminals more than anything.
Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she?
She always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure.
So that's why you became Mask Star to Mask?
Yes, but it's all over now. A broken bowl can never be put back together!
That's not true! Right, Nick?
Right.
Really? Can we go back to the way things were?
You'll be fine, and Nick can prove it.
I can? I kinda wish you would check with me first.
Mr. Delight, even if a bowl is broken, there's always a way to put it back together. The fucking urn, isn't it?
Sometimes it's the wrong way.
True.
The wrong way!
The sacred urn. Desi was the one who found this.
Desiree, your wife, she's always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything.
Ah, there you are.
Miss Delight.
You did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy.
Thank you, I appreciate that, but, I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you?
Ronnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you quit KB Security. I never imagined you were really Master Mask either.
Miss Delight, what are you going to do now that you know? You're not going to really leave him, are you?
Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? How could I have let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. So fast, there's no way you could ever get away.
But didn't you say that you hated criminals?
Oh, I hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective.
I see.
My Ronnie went ahead and declared his crimes before he committed them, like a man. I just love a man who's so chivalrous.
Chivalrous.
I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement.
Jesse,
Desiree, you really do love Ron, don't you?
really loved you, Ron.
It's been a long day.
Nicky boy,
Yes?
I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us.
Oh, well, take care of yourself.
You too, Nicky boy.
I can feel my face going red.
Oh no. Did we decide who was voicing Pearl?
Don't think so.
Okay, I can just voice her.
I was gonna say Yoshkin should.
No.
As much as I would love that, I think that would be like pulling nails. So.
As opposed to what we've just had.
No. It would be pulling nails to get him to do it.
Yeah.
Not the voice. Your voice is fine, Mark. Mr. Nick! Mystic Maya, congratulations!
Talk about bad timing.
Mr. Nick, how could you with another man's wife in front of Mystic Maya?
No,
I'll
you got
never
her
forgive
wrong!
you, never ever!
Ow! Fuck!
I've not really noticed it before, but Pearl has a 5 head, doesn't she?
I feel like we have talked about this before.
Yeah. So just as the case came to a close, so too did my consciousness. Ron said a broken bowl can never be put back together. I know that's not true. I mean, just look.
Oh.
That's a cute render. Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together even better than before.
Oh my god, we actually got through the
We
trial.
did it.
We did it!
Did
Woo!
it in
Case
one
two.
session.
We're
I'm
only
proud.
30 minutes late.
Hip
Yeah.
hip hooray!
Look at that.
Look who it is. It's look who it is.
Yes.
It's
Can't believe-
Meteor.
I can't believe she's gonna go and work for what's its name from Somnium Files.
That reference is lost on me, unfortunately. I'm a fool.
You gotta play Somnium Files.
I gotta play the rest of the Uchikoshi games, then I'll play Somnium
That's
Files.
true. That's true. Play VLR
No,
at
don't
least
think-
first.
Don't forget, you got to start with Pepsi Man because that was his first.
Oh god.
And
Yeah.
also remember 11.
I'm with you, Eman. I have every Uchikoshi game on Steam. And I
Yep.
need to play them.
I think
But
I
Pepsi
literally
Man
have...
isn't on Steam.
Astrid, have you played any of them?
Mark,
I
I'm
have
gonna whip
not.
you like a towel.
Oh my god, you
You-
need to play at least 999.
I
You need to
know.
play
It's my
999 on the Nintendo DS and
Well,
not
yeah,
on
that's
Steam.
It's my
Yes,
favorite
I
game
think
of
so.
all time.
I
The
see.
DS version is.
Yes.
Yeah, I literally have Somnium Files and the whole trilogy of Zero Escape, so
Maybe
I just-
after I... Yeah,
Oh, go on.
maybe after I finish replaying the entire Ace Attorney series plus Ghost Trick.
That's
Problem
fair.
is, problem is when you play 999 over here, the services turn up.
At some point,
I
maybe once the FE4 streams are done, I wonder if Bea will be ready.
Good joke.
Well,
That's a
haha,
good-
yeah.
that's a good
Maybe
one.
Bea will be ready to return to the world of Zero Escape because we finished 999 quite a while ago, but we needed a break before we dove into VLR. So at some point, maybe we'll dive into VLR on stream.
Yeah, maybe in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, who knows?
I need to finish. I'm trying to finish up the expansion for Xenoblade 3 because then I'll finally like be fully caught up with Xenoblade, and then I can. The first 5 months of the year were just all Xenoblade for me, basically for game progress.
Well, sounds like a good few months.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I've been fucking phenomenal series.
Hmm.
I
That's
would
me
put
with-
Tora into a hydraulic press though in the
That's
series.
so true.
Kino.
That's me with the Trails games, except nobody plays them when I recommend them.
Don't worry, that's on my list too. That's
Well,
on my.
Because I've been playing Trails to Azure.
Ah,
I'm excited. I can't. We're on episode 3. Holy shit.
yeah.
Case 3.
I'm
I
so
like- I
excited
like
for the rest of
history.
this. Like this whole I'm just excited to be at game 3, man. Everything about
Feel
this
like
is new to me, so.
I feel like we're going at a pretty good pace as well. Like we had like a
Absolutely.
good few weeks without
Yeah.
anything, but now we've had like what feels like 3 weeks in a row, just like with.
Yeah, this will
Saying
be
there's
great.
no next week.
This will be great until we hit summer, and then summer's always like a kind of a dead time for us. So I'm hoping we can at least get one more session in before June hits.
Well, at
can't-
the very least, if it's only like 1 or 2 people missing, I can fill in.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait for case 4 where we need Elizabeth for like the entire
I know. I'm
case.
so worried about that.
Especially now that you're not there to wake her up.
Actually, the good thing is that there's a chance that she might be moving back in with my parents. So worst comes to worst, if we don't get to case 4 until like July or something like that, I might just be able to text my mom and be like, "Hey, can you please wake her up? I need her voice."
Oh my god.
Wait, hold on. We already have that voice.
Phoenix.
Well, that's true.
What's that?
But it's not Ghost Mia. It's Mia's alive in those times.
That is true.
Oh,
This is flashback Mia, so she's around.
Wake her up by just chucking a chicken in the room.
Oh God, no! My mom would not want the chicken inside the house because they stink.
Yeah, probably.
That's not nice.
No, they're very stinky creatures.
They are stinky creatures.
They're so stinky, but
Speaking
I
of
love
chicken,
them.
I got lunch.
I was gonna ask what you got for food.
McDonald's.
Very nice. Well, thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Yoshi, for hanging out with us, especially for waking up so early. It's always a pleasure to have you in chat. And anybody else who might have been lurking. So glad we managed to get through this. Go us! Look at us go. We're going so great.
Yay.
But thank you guys for hanging out, and hopefully we will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.